Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a bonus reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Aries, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or making a donation, you can find the information for that in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my Instagram, and my TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Aries, I hope that you're doing well. This series of readings is all about messages from your ancestors, and it was sparked by this beautiful mookaite crystal that I was intuitively drawn to. It's like I was kind of looking to see, I always have crystals on my desk when I read, and it helps to channel the energy, and I wanted to choose a different one from, the normal selection, and this really spoke to me. And it's very grounding, it's very dense. The colors are beautiful, very earthy, very muted, but talks about family lineage healing. And that's how I knew your ancestors wanted to speak to you today. I'm going to be using 3 decks for your reading. The Shaman's Dream Oracle for the overall energy, the Radiant Wilds Tarot for your tarot reading, and the Wisdom of the Oracle to get advice from Spirit at the end. Cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. What their ancestors would like to say to them. For Aries, please. This is for Aries. Okay. Okay, number 44, which reduces to an 8. The Strength card of the Major Arcana, Leo energy. Number 8 is a card of identity. Excuse me, a number of identity, like a number of the self and the ego. Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. I don't think I've ever seen this card. I don't use this deck very often, but it's quite striking. I also want to show you this card, which also came out with it, number 13, which corresponds to the Death card of the Major Arcana. Sorry, lots of sounds going on. The Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. So, 2 kind of winged creatures here. One that looks rather noble and kind of like a raven, and anytime I think of ravens, I think of like very high intelligence. They are always communicating through their energy, right? Ravens are kind of messengers. But then you have the Dream Thief here, which is this amalgamation of bird creature, humanoid, who knows? And it's kind of, it's a little, frightening is too strong of a word. It's not frightening, it's just because it's off-putting. It's disconcerting. Thank you, Spirit. I was like, there's a better word. The Dream Thief is disconcerting. And it says, so one says the courage to step into life, the other says refusal to the call. That's not coincidental. It's almost as if you are at this crossroads, because I see 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords in my mind. You're at this crossroads where you have a very strong calling, and Aries are known to be the ones that step into risk, that step into leadership, that step into elevation of some kind. But then there's this part of you, or some fear factor, that is preventing you from really embracing it. There's hesitation. There's more than hesitation. there is a little bit of fear. You know, it's almost like you know that it's your destiny, whatever this is. You know that it's for you, but it could be scary. And it's almost like one last look before he goes, as he's holding on to something that belongs to you. So you could be having kind of anxiety dreams about leaving a situation to follow some path. There could be detractors. I just heard parents. There could be some detractors that say, oh, you know, Aries, you shouldn't do that. That's too much of a risk. I don't know. I can't say either way of what you should do. All I can do is read the energy and point out to you that I see your hesitation. We'll pull the tarot in a second, but what I do know is that this is an outside entity and this is you. And that portal is, and as the birds are chirping right now outside my window, that portal is like in your heart space. The birds are really singing very loudly right now. Weird, and then they just stopped. Weird. Anyway, so I'm feeling like you're at odds with something, mainly yourself, of whether you should take the Fool's Journey, take the leap of faith. 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and at the end, look, I got 2 cards out, and here's the Fool card, right? What did I tell you? Okay, 6 cards on the table. Past, present, future. I can't believe that Fool card. Precisely, Spirit. Thank you. In the past energy, 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 8 of Swords in reverse. Just want to point out to you, we've got a lot of portal action happening here. See, that really mirrors that middle card. That swirl, I don't know if you've ever seen the Alfred Hitchcock movie Vertigo, but that swirl, that kind of depth perception, playing with depth perception and very dramatic, graphic, figures very prominently in that movie. Is there anything else about that movie? Well, first of all, Jimmy Stewart, who is my favorite. That movie is all about illusion. Kind of like creating the reality that we want instead of, but not in a good way. It kind of is a lot of devil energy in that movie. That movie is a classic and brilliant and everyone should watch it. But the main character kind of gets carried away with himself. He's also being manipulated, but I mean, truly gaslit, I think. But it's like there's a certain part of him that wanted it. Also, your cover card, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, there is some major kind of up-leveling, or this is not an easy decision. This is like a situation where you get the opportunity of a lifetime, like a job of a lifetime, but you have to move 3,000 miles away. Like, it's not like, I'm not talking about some, you know, what am I going to have for dinner conversation. It's, do I have to uproot my whole life? Do I have to change some major aspect of how I live right now to be able to pursue my goals? So in the past energy, you got these 2 cards in reverse. 10 of Pentacles talks about abundance. Pentacles is earth energy, and by the time we reach the 10, we've got everything. Strong family, community, finances, opportunities. But the card is in reverse, so it's kind of like just out of your reach. It's almost like this is a illusion or a mirage or something, and it's like the goal looks like it's coming closer to you, but then it goes further away. And so you're just like reaching out for it. You can't quite reach. And 8 of Swords, which the card represents. Swords is air energy. It's all about the thinking space, the mind space. When we're at the 8 of Swords, there's a lot of anxiety, right? Kind of what I was talking about with this dream thief, that there's, it could be causing, because Spirit just said the word cortisol, you know, the TikTok and everything, they talk about, you know, do you know your cortisol levels and blah, 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 but I'm not really even sure how one gets rid of cortisol, because I just feel like I've been living with anxiety for the past 30 years, probably longer, but I hear that word, so I think about like stress level for you. Trying to overcome it though, because the card is in reverse. Trying to free yourself, because I also feel like this could have been a money block. A money block. Almost like if you're playing some kind of coin machine, like at an arcade, and you like, if you were to drop the coin on the top, it would be able to flow down. But it's almost like you drop the coin in and it just goes nowhere. There's something to that, like an arcade game. And some of you could be gambling. Or it's simply referring to taking a gamble, taking a risk. Could have done it once before, and it didn't work out for you the first time, and so that you could be a little shy about taking another one. I'm just going to get a clarifier for that. Past energy for Aries. 2 cards. The Lovers, number 6 of the Major Arcana, and the 9 of Swords. So now we've 9 of Swords, so 8 to the 9. 9 is nightmare energy. So the space of the brain. See, it's almost like the dream thief swoops in and kind of, he just kind of puts this fear in your subconscious. And here you have the Lovers card, which could have to do with divine partnership. Number 6, Gemini energy. But the Lovers also talks about choice. Making choices. Being at a choice point. It's interesting that the snake is here. I think in some, I'm not entirely sure, but this is what I believe that I've seen in videos and stuff. When you look at the, like, King Tut, I think it's Tutankhamun, or all of the royalty of, like, ancient Egypt, their headdresses were very ornate, and there's like a snake coming out of the headdress right here, right in this area, and it represents like this knowing in the pineal gland, right? That's what they say anyway. But it's almost like the dream thief came in and implanted like a false third eye. This is very powerful because it represents not being able to trust your own intuition. And I've been there, and it sucks. Thank you, Spirit. It sucks. It's like when you can't trust your own judgment about a person, about a situation, it's like you're just completely at an impasse, especially if you rely on your intuition a lot. So it's leading me to the present energy. The Fool, number 0 of the major arcana. The tarot is all about the fool's journey, taking the great leap of faith, having a belief that spirit will catch us. It's about traveling light, taking a leap of faith as an adult, right? Which means that, you know, because when we're children, we don't have any kind of jadedness or cynicism or prior experience that would tell us that we can't and shouldn't do something. Now, obviously, that's different for everybody, because even as a child, I always put limitations on myself. And I don't know where that came from, because I don't necessarily think that my parents or, you know, my mom or whatever, I mean, she did a little bit, but like, it was me that was always just like, oh no, I don't want to do that, or I can't go there, or I don't want to talk to that person. But for other children, they're climbing trees and jumping off of things and hurting themselves and getting back up and doing it again. They're those kinds of kids. So it's different though when you're an adult, when you've had disappointments and heartbreak and heartache and times that have tested you, to then start again, start over, start anew. It's more of a risk because you have more responsibilities now. You might have a mortgage and a car payment and a family to feed and all these things. So, whereas before, there was something, I feel like there was a broken trust in your own intuition because of some prior, I don't know, I feel like this energy is very karmic. I feel like your ancestors are telling me this is, I'm not talking about like curses or anything like that, but legacies, maybe legacies built into your family DNA that have, you know, kind of followed you. Oh, we don't ever leave our small town. We don't do that. We work on the farm and we take care of each other and we live in a commune, and that's what we do. That's what our family does and has done that for 10 generations. And you're just like, but I don't want to do that. I want more. But then that energy comes in and says, are you sure? Because it's really scary. So now, the present energy with the Fool, you're like, no, big energy out there and I want to be a part of it. But King of Swords, another Gemini card. There's lots of references to Gemini in your reading so far, so you could have Gemini in prominent placements in your chart, be dealing with a Gemini. King of Swords talks about somebody who's very discerning, just the facts, just the figures, just the calculations. We're not doing anything. It's not about our intuition. It's about what makes sense. So I'm going to write a pros and cons list. I'm going to look at the financials. I'm going to look at the contracts. I'm going to look at the legalese. And then we're going to make our decision. So you are coming from, there's nothing wrong with that. But you are definitely, you're wanting to make that leap because you are an Aries. And this is very fiery energy. You want to take that leap because there's a part of you that likes to take risk, likes to be bold. But you're going to be smart about it. And for you right now, smart means looking at all the facts, being strategic. Can I have a clarifier, please, Spirit? Thank you. Spirit wanted me to remind you with this King of Wands. And yet, we're never going to forget who we are. Aries is never going to forget who they are. just because they might be stepping into this energy for a while. King of Wands, this is your energy, closest king to the Emperor, which is your card of the major arcana. We're not going to forget our power, our personal power, all the drive and initiative and aggression that fuels us. I want to make some correlation to this sphere and this sphere. It's almost like you take that leap of faith and then somehow you make it your own landscape, where it now becomes kind of a combination of things. So it's not just hot and fiery red and chaotic, and it's not just cool and detached and kind of one-dimensional. It has dimension now, but it's just a mixture of energies, a mixture of subtle and warm and vast and intimate all at the same time. There's like the figure there. Sorry, it's not focusing. There's a lot happening here. Two kings for your current energy. See? The courage to step into life. You have that courage. You definitely do. It's just that there's something, it's just like this, what is it? Like a fly buzzing in your ear that's just irritating. And you just want to like knock it off. In the future potential, Ace of Pentacles, see? It will work out for you in the end. Aces bring new from spirits, new opportunity, new potentiality. We have to go after it though. And here it is, but now walk towards it. This abundance, this beauty. There is a precision here. There's something about precision that might have to do with, like, I see 555 on my clock down here, which is interesting because it's actually 4:55, and because I forgot to change the time on that for daylight savings or fallback, whatever it's called, standard time. So the spirit's just very funny because we're talking about precision. And yes, there's 555, which is the number of transition, but the clock is completely 1 hour off. So there's something like that. You're like looking at the minutia. All the facets need to make sense before you're gonna walk towards it. 4 of Pentacles in reverse to clarify. 4 of Pentacles talks about holding on tightly to our assets, our belongings, our ideas. But you got this card in reverse, so it's kind of like saying you're interested in traveling light, right? Just like the Fool. So you're casting off. You're definitely casting off something, because between this energy and this one, which one would you rather carry? This one kind of represents all of the mundane responsibilities, which, look, it's very important that we take care of our responsibilities, especially if you have family or whatever. You got to be a stand-up person and take care of what you cultivated. At the same time, what can we release? What is extra? What does not need to be there? So we can get back to these basics and really make room for the abundance that wants to come towards us. That's really beautiful. Difficult energies, but I feel like you're working through them. Let's get a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. This is for Aries. Number 7, which corresponds to the Chariot card of the Major Arcana. That's Cancer energy, and it talks about fast movement forward, travel, victory, mastery over the light and dark. And the words are to the sea, to the sea. It's talking about, you know, kind of, it's almost like, this one says the courage to step into life. It's almost like the courage to put some wind into your sails. I'm going to read a little bit from the book, number 7. To the sea, being in flow. Returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that this card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do. A very important message that Spirit wants to get through to you. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions, perfect storm. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. Into the sea of life, step into life. It's really beautiful. That's your reading, Aries. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Aries.